We come to you from downtown Los Angeles and Staples Center. I'm Ed Cohen with Jay Williams. Jay, the stars always come out to see greatness.
And I love this city. From the bright lights of Hollywood to the bright lights on the hardwood. Who is going to be the star tonight?
It is showtime. Let's do this. The Raptors begin the game with the basketball. Jay, how do you even begin to try and describe the whirlwind that is the Toronto Raptors?
Well, you start with the positive. Last year was the first time in franchise history they were the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And here we are. This team still having a chance to win the Eastern Conference again.
LeBron into the front court. Looking to make something happen. Curling inside. And he powers it home. 2 more points for Anthony Davis. So far, so good.
Didn't take long to get this crowd on their feet. And one of the most undervalued things in sports, the 13th man, the fans. If they get you going in the game, they can help you sustain that energy.
Anthony Davis sends it away. Lakers ball. To James. Davis. Here comes the screen. The screen sets him up for 2.
The pro game has really come down to PNRs. Let's see how the defense adjusts.
Across the timeline, it's Lowry. Trailing by 4. Pascal Siakam to Lowry. That'll get out off the Raptors. LeBron into the front court. He'll run the offense to Cousins. Screen coming. To James. And Cousins throwing it down. Feed the big fella. Point to the passer.
So good when you get everybody involved, in particular your bigs. You get them going, they'll run the court faster, and guess what? They'll set harder screens because they're actually in the game.
And the rebound pulled down by Davis. Across the timeline comes James. Up 6. To Davis. And the finish. Slam dunk. Safe to say, notice has been served.
Sometimes things go good. Other times, things go great. Everything going that team's way right now.
Lowry in a matchup with Boogie. Gasol to Lowry. The Raptors down to 3 on the shot clock. Lowry and Davis there to grab the rebound. Into the front court comes Rondo. 8-0 is the score. To Davis. No good. No daylight. Great defense. Another shot won't go either. To Gasol. Nice pace. Sets it up and slams it down.
Just remember an old saying here. You're only as good as your last shot, and your last shot went in, so it's time to get going.
James to Davis. Calls out of bounds. Last touch by Marc Gasol. Changes coming from both sides right now. Kuzma. Anthony Davis. 3 for 4. Good start.
Old school equals high percentage.
Ball's controlled by the Raptors. Here comes the screen. Fred VanVleet to Gasol. Has a look. And 2 points to the board.
That was a tough shot. The guy was in your pocket. He even contested the shot. Everything was going according to plan until then.
James into the front court. 10-4 is the score. Able to convert inside. Fred VanVleet to Powell. Scores from the post.
I'm laughing because when you look at Marc Gasol, he's not the fastest big guy in the game. He's not the smoothest, nor is he the best shooter. But you know what he is? He's prepared and he's experienced. That's why he can get you 17 to 18 to 19 points per night or more, and you get a tough low post presence.
Toronto with the basketball. Fred VanVleet. The pass taken away by the Lakers. Count the bucket for 2.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Fred VanVleet. They work it down to Gasol. Marc Gasol looking good. 4 for 5.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
LeBron with it up top. It's an 8-point lead. To Davis. From the painted area, won't go down. To Powell. Gasol. It was right there. Anthony Davis able to recover with the block.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
Runners good there.
They're going to have to find answers defensively and quickly because he's carving them up in the first quarter.
It's James controlling the offense. Not that time. Desperation shot here from half court. Knocks it down at the buzzer from half court. He lined it up perfectly. What an end to the first quarter. On to the second quarter. Neither team sees control in the first. Some interesting things, though, certainly on display.
And when both teams are playing at this level, it just continues to reaffirm that I was excited to watch both of these teams play this entire week. It's been a solid game so far, but this has a chance to be a great one down the stretch.
Superman, Dwight Howard. He's finally on the board. Makes his first shot.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Toronto has the basketball to Ibaka. Here comes the screen. Meeks, guarded by Howard. Anthony Davis, snatching it out of the air. That's his third block this evening.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
A shot no good there for Kuzma.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jumper.
To VanVleet. Whistled for the foul. Chance coming up at the free throw line.
Ed, the reality is that good jump shooters know how to get those calls. Overall, though, there's less flopping in the game, which is great. But there's something uncanny about certain players' abilities to get those calls on a regular basis.
Able to convert on both free throws. Lakers at the controls right now. They'll get it down to Davis. Serge Ibaka tips it.
Oh, he blocked that with authority.
Can't connect. Defense did its job that time.
Let's be realistic. He's probably not going to miss a lot of shots. But the more effort you can give, you want to try to tire him out. Take his legs away. Make him work to catch the ball. That's how you win a defensive battle.
Marc Gasol with a piece. Serge Ibaka pins it.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Short jumper off the mark. McCaw into the front court. They're down 3. To Van Vliet. McCaw up against the 8-time All-Star. Trying to cash in with the step back.
I could see the beads of sweat forming when he had to put the ball on the ground there. You still got it, though.
Rondo with the basketball. Leads just a point. To Danny Green. Nothing going here on that drive. Not done yet. And scores, plus the foul. Patented move for Anthony Davis, and a chance at 3.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
Anthony Davis at the line for a chance at a 3-point play. For his career, 79% at the line. Free throw try, off the mark. It's the Raptors with the basketball. Lowry, and it's rebounded by Green. LeBron into the front court, up by 3. Davis to James. Here comes the screen. Jay, Magic and Kobe each won 5 titles. How are you going to judge LeBron James' legacy in L.A.?
LeBron James wins 1 championship in L.A. That means he will set himself apart. He will have won 4 championships in 3 different cities. Now, that is polarizing for some fans. That still does not take away from the overall greatness and the legacy of LeBron James.
LeBron into the front court. His team up by 1. Here comes the screen. To Davis. Oh, ferocious slam inside. He was ready right at the tip.
What a first half he's having. He came out of the gate, attacked, found ways to get to the rim. Now look how easy the game is coming to him.
McCaw to Lowry. Nothing going here on that drive. Meeks against Cousins. Serge Ibaka slams it down.
If you didn't dunk that, then we would have to talk about it.
Here's Rondo with it. Leads 1. They go down to Davis. Marc Gasol with the block.
Just erasing mistakes left and right.
Lowry to Gasol. And a throwdown.
It's so amazing when you get a chance to see a player in his own space. It's almost as if the defense doesn't exist. He can go left, he can go right, he can attack. He's playing on that court by himself.
Off the assist.
There's certain guys in this league that should be put on alert status 24/7 because either they're posterizing you or that attempt can still be a poster.
Gasol, good for 2. Great footwork once again.
Well, they have such great flow to their offense this evening. The ball isn't sticking to one player individually. It's moving around the perimeter, and it's zipping. They're playing with a special cohesiveness.
Old school. Backs his man down for the basket. Now a whistle, and Toronto's going to use a timeout as they'll talk things over in a 1-point basketball game. opposing coach is going to counter, make some changes of his own. Lowry to Gasol. Tough-looking shot there. Still gets it to go down.
I love the drive to the basket there. Instead of trying to go around or over, go through.
To Davis. And count the basket inside.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
Lowry into the front court. It's a one-point game as we approach halftime. To Gasol. Ibaka. Oh, good defense by the Lakers. They come away with the steal.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
To Davis. Marc Gasol swats it.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
And he's fouled. Davis going to the line for two.
Smart play to rip through the extended arm of the defender. That will get you to the free throw line every time.
First free throw is good. Goes 2 for 2. Lowry. That misses with 3 seconds left. First half in the books. The Lakers have the lead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jalen Rose, and this is your EA Sports Halftime Report. The Lakers are in a tight battle after 2 quarters. They decided to make a statement in the opening half, and they did it by throwing down dunk after dunk after dunk. I think the rim is still shaking. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Raptors are within striking distance at the half. And even though they don't have the lead, they're doing a great job of moving the ball around. They might find themselves on the winning end of the scoreboard if they can keep it up. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Toronto Raptors.
Game track. Blocks.
All right, let's be honest. Some of these guys have been getting embarrassed tonight with the way their shots are getting blocked. But you can't deny the entertainment value.
Player of the half.
Anthony Davis has the defense figured out, and his shots are falling for him. That's a lethal combination that will be hard to overcome.
Who was cold?
What can you say about a guy like this? Except that he fits the title of this segment. He was definitely cold in that first half. Top plays, and we've got 3 of them for you.
Number 2. Number 1.
And that concludes our halftime report. Thanks for joining us, and see you again after the game.
Jay, last year the Lakers 35-47. What impact, obviously, will LeBron James have on this Lakers team and their record?
There's no doubt that I think the Lakers will get over 35 wins. Will they get over 50, though, is the major question. I don't see that happening, considering last year only 2 teams in the West, Golden State and Houston, had over 50 wins.
Misses the first.
Focus here. Need one time. One time. Here we go.
Oh, he missed on a pair. Lowry with it. His guys down 3. Pascal Siakam to Lowry. Five on the shot clock. Has a chance. Well done, Kyle Lowry. He has struggled just a little bit. 2 for 5.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here, because that was not an easy look.
To James. Screen coming. James. Marc Gasol sends it away.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
To Gasol, down low. Able to convert inside.
And there's nothing more mentally intimidating for your opponent than when your own teammates are unselfish and make sure that you get the ball because they want you to drop 70 on them, maybe like Devin Booker did last year.
Nothing going here on that drive. And he's fouled. Very close. Free throws coming up.
This drives me nuts when I see fouls like that being called in a close game. Sometimes you just gotta let them play, ref.
LeBron James, a couple of free throws on the way. He struggled so far. And hits the first free throw. And gets both to drop at the line. Ball's controlled by Lowry. To Gasol. Lowry. Probing the defense. Scores from the post.
And if you don't contest, he's knocking that down with ease.
Rondo into the front court. His guys now down by a point. To James.
Hey, big screen right there, big screen.
Marc Gasol. Huge block.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
To Powell. Here comes the screen. Powell. And he dunks it down for 2.
That's the intensity you need to see. Whenever a player running back on defense after a dunk like that holds the inside of his forearm, it lets you know how hard he dunked that basketball.
To James. Danny Green. He was smothered and still gets it to go down.
It's really a dope thing when passing becomes infectious. But don't become overly passive. Still take your shots when they're there.
Gasol to Lowry. Down low, Gasol. And he hits.
Ed, I have so much admiration for guys that continue to hunt their shot. They're playing the second half like it was the first 5 minutes of the ball game. Those natural-born leaders are guys that will consistently lead your team to the promised land.
Pascal Siakam rejects it.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul.
Sometimes you hear people give all these fancy breakdowns, tell you all these different things they can do. That was just plain old simple bully basketball. Muscled his way through the lane.
And he scores. Euro step into the rim, Jay.
Oh, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that with that size, but in today's game, dexterity and mobility are off the charts for bigs.
To Danny Green. Cousins. Stuffs it down with authority. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
To Gasol. Anthony Davis sends it away. Fourth this contest. Into the front court comes Rondo. His guys now trailing by a point. Off the assist.
This offseason, I heard so many voices, even that of the great Shaquille O'Neal, talking about how LBJ needed to submit his own legacy. Well, for LeBron, it's not about chasing external accolades. It's about hunting your own legacy, and that's to be the greatest of all time.
Well done, Kyle Lowry. 3 for 6 now.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. To James. To Caldwell Pope. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Dwight Howard trying to cash in on the three-point play. 56% for his career. Free throw up and good. Gives him a 2-point lead. Lynn with it. Looking to make something happen. To Gasol. Almost. Unlucky bounce. To James. The screen sets him up for 2. The maturity of one of the game's greatest on full display.
Yeah, LeBron James still proving that he can get up there with the highest of the high. But still, I love the fact that he recognizes less is more now. LeBron James 2007, every play is a dunk. Now it just happens once in a while. Enjoy the greatness.
Gasol to Lynn. 4-3. And that's rebounded by the Lakers. Cook to bring it into the front court. Leads 4. Cousins. Here comes the screen. To James. Beyond the arc for three. Tough shot. Well defended.
Shooters shoot. Period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
That's the end of the period. The Lakers have the lead. Raptors ball as we get going here in the fourth. They trail to this point, but you'd have to say this one's up for grabs.
And the new style we play with in this league, all it takes is 3 quick threes, and you're right back in the ballgame.
Lynn to Van Vliet. Five to shoot for Toronto. Fred Van Vliet to Ibaka. Serge Ibaka. Not a busy night, but effective. 2 for 2.
There are certain guys in this league that should be put on alert status 24/7 because either they're posterizing you or that attempt can still be a poster.
Marc Gasol able to recover with the block.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
To Van Vliet. Unbothered by the defense as he drills it.
That might have been a little bit easier than expected there, considering the score.
To Kyle Kuzma. 5 to shoot for Los Angeles. To Kyle Kuzma. Here's a chance from long range. No issues for Kuzma. Hand in his face, he drills it.
Yeah, and what we're seeing is a brilliant offensive display. You have ball movement, player movement, and great shooting to top it off. You get those 3 things going, you're going to be a dynamic offensive unit.
Lynn to Van Vliet. Shot clock, it's coming down to 4. Now down to 3. Knocks it down from mid-range.
I don't really care that Fred Van Vliet finished 3rd in the voting for 6th man of the year. You know what I care about? That he was a draft snub. That 3 seasons ago, he was undrafted and nobody wanted him. After that, he spent time on the Raptors D-League team to being a guy that sits on their bench to all of a sudden being one of the best players on their squad. That's the story. That's the narrative we need to focus on.
Danny Green. To Kyle Kuzma. Has a look. That's usually one that he'll knock down. To Jeremy Lin. Screen coming. Lin to Ibaka. Fires the 3, buries it on the catch and shoot.
Just because someone is listening to you doesn't mean that they actually hear you. At the end of the game, when players get tired, they listen to what the assignment was, but they didn't hear what it was.
Looks like both teams are making substitutions. To James. Dives for it. Not afraid to mix it up. Ah, the monster stuff.
It's not every day that you see a 6'9", 265-pound freight train coming down the lane. You probably want to step out of the way.
Lowry to Van Vliet. Nothing going here on that drive. Doesn't have the touch. No good.
And the game is so different. In today's NBA, defenders are longer, quicker, and more athletic than we've ever seen before. So offensively, as a shooter, you either have to be able to create more space off the dribble for your shot or have a much faster release. Ideally, you have both in your arsenal.
Kyle Lowry with the rock. To Ibaka.
2 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
They love this hustle. Going to launch beyond the arc. Now ready for a couple of free throws.
No, no, no. I'll tell you, the team that makes the little mistakes, like committing unnecessary reaching fouls like that, will be the team that ends up with the L.
Off the mark on the first free throw. Knocks down the second free throw. Can't take advantage. 1 for 3 at the line. To James. Pascal Siakam snatching it out of the air. Ball's controlled by the Raptors. DeMarcus Cousins tips it.
You know why? I don't see anybody on the defensive end standing up out of position. I see everybody squatted down, really active with their hands. That's the mentality that will lead you to where you want to go.
Lynn. Well done, Kyle Lowry. 4 out of 7.
Look, there was barely any contact on that last play. I agree with the ref's no call. Let him play.
Across the timeline comes James. All tied up, just underway in this fourth quarter. The rebounds corralled by the Raptors. Lynn with it. He'll run the offense. To Gasol. Goes reverse to lay it in.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. James. Lakers down to 4 on the shot clock. Here's LeBron for 2. Deep 2 there, won't go. Lynn with it. 2-point advantage. To Lowry. Fires the 3. And the Lakers clear. It's Cook with the basketball. His group now down 2. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Better late than never. That was his first shot, and it goes down. Now the Raptors going to use a timeout as they dig into their bag of tricks, trying to draw up the game winner.
So you must act now. Visit our team website for more details.
Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor. Lowry against Cousins. Lets it fly from long range. He missed his first 4 from downtown. He finally gets a 3 to go.
I'm going to tell you what every shooter thinks after he misses 4 in a row. One has to go in eventually.
Deep 3 at the buzzer. Anthony Davis is going to get 3 shots here, shooting 66% in this contest. First one goes down. Second to 3, got it. And he cashes in at the line. 3 for 3. Now a whistle, and Toronto's going to use a timeout. It's their second and final one of the last 3 minutes. They cannot stop the clock again. OG Anunoby, defended by Cousins. Corner 3 at the buzzer. 3 for the win is good. He got it away from downtown. Forget about overtime. This baby is history.
It's Jalen Rose, and it's time for the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Raptors gave us one of the most exhilarating plays in all of sports. The buzzer beater. Great shot to win the game. Check out the leading scores for the Toronto Raptors. The Lakers lost a tight one today, and you can see the disappointment. They shot exceptionally well from beyond the arc, but even that long-range efficiency wasn't enough for them to get the win. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Game track. Field goals.
This was a matchup in which solid shooting was prominently on display. I definitely enjoyed it. Like I'm loving enjoying all of these highlights right now. Great job of effective, efficient scoring from these squads.
Player of the game.
Marc Gasol seemed to think he could only score points with dunks in this game. Again and again. He kept throwing them down, and it was just astonishing. Here are the top 3 plays from the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose. We look forward to seeing you again next time.